Hey guys, just wanted to kind of give you an update on things. As most of you know, our state has given us a new mandate. We're back to purple tier, and with that are some restrictions of meeting and how many people we can meet, indoors, outdoors, which means we can't meet indoors. And so we just want to kind of give everybody an update of where we are, what's going on, so that you stay informed. But before I get to what we're going to do, can I just give you a bit of the journey that I'm on, that I would hope and pray that you would join me on this journey as well. It kind of starts back at the beginning when we started this time of COVID and restrictions, and everybody was, everything was so crazy or crazier. It was so we were in such unknown territory, and so we were shut down, and we couldn't meet, and things were just a little wild there, and I noticed some stuff about me that I want to talk to you about, and what I feel like God is doing in my heart through this time. In that season I was asking God a lot of, what do we do? What do we do? God, what do we do? What do we do? And to the point where it was keeping me up at night. It was because I know whatever we do, people aren't going to be happy, and I don't like that. I want people to like me, And so making decisions like that just becomes challenging and really, really hard. And I was praying, God, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And so we made a decision early on in March, I believe, to not meet. And again, there are people on both sides of the fence on, right or wrong, and on all of that. And I understand that. That just goes with the territory. When last Monday, when the governor said that we were, moving back to purple, we can't meet, y'all kind of saw it coming a little bit. And so over the last few weeks before that, I just began to pray and ask God, kind of entering back into that what are we going to do thing. And in that time of prayer and just talking to God, I felt like he added two words to that statement. Instead of just saying, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? The two words I felt like he impressed upon me were, what do you want to do in me? In me. It just kind of shifted. It was a big movement for me, as I began to change the dynamics of the question, the better question. What do you want to do in me, God, in this time, in this pandemic, and with all the crazy going on? What do you want to do in me? And during that season, still during this season, I opened to Proverbs chapter 4, and there were two verses that just stood out to me. And in one of the verses, Solomon, supposedly the wisest guy who ever lived, said this. He said, wisdom is supreme. Get it. If you have to sell everything, get understanding. Then he fast forward a little further into the chapter 4. He says, above all else, guard your heart, for out of it flows the well springs of life. Out of it flows the issues of life. And I began to reflect back early on in March and how I handled things and how I walked through things with that first wave of COVID and shutdowns. And I realized, honestly, that I really didn't do a good job guarding my heart. I found myself kind of becoming a little bit caustic towards people, and people who didn't agree with me, or people who thought we should do it another way. And I felt like my heart kind of took a beating in all of that, because I didn't do a very good job. Above all else, guard your heart. And that's really super important during these seasons, that we actually guard and protect, because all the decisions and choices and all of the different things that are super important in life have a starting point, have a flow, they flow from somewhere. And Solomon would say, it flows from inside you, so guard that. And I thought, I don't ever want to be that person. I don't want to become angry, or I don't want to become bitter. I don't want to become caustic. I don't want to be that. And it started first and foremost with just, okay, I'm going to guard my heart. I'm going to do a better job of that. And then, as I was looking at when he said wisdom is supreme, get it. Understanding. If you have to sell everything, get understanding. I begin to realize that Solomon's making some big, bold statements here about some really important things. And one of the things that I wanted to get was understanding. One of the things I'm realizing is that when rules come out, and mandates come out, and laws come out, the reality is that things aren't as black and white as sometimes we think they are. We like to, it's comfortable to say, well, that's a rule, or that's the mandate, we got to do it, or that's a rule, I don't like it. But rules by nature will separate us, and by our opinion on the rule, whether we like it, whether we agree with it, whether we like the person who gave the rule. If all those three line up, then we'll say, yeah, I follow the rules, I follow the mandate. If any of those things get shifted, I don't like the rule, I don't agree with it, and I don't like the person giving it, all of a sudden, we don't like the rule. And so now we have sides, now we have opinions, now we are split down the middle, depending on how you feel in those three areas about a rule. So when rules are given, I realize they, by their nature, we need rules, by the way. We have anarchy without rules. I'm super supportive of rules. But when they're given, by who gives them, whether we like them or not, or agree with them, will determine where we fall, which side of the fence, on whether we should do them or not do them. And that's divisive just by nature. And so when you make decisions simply because of the rules, you're going to offend somebody down the road. But I decided I want to ask a better question. God, what do you want to do in me in this season? And one of the things I felt impressed was to get understanding. Solomon said, go get it. You have to be aggressive. You have to be intentional. If you had to sell everything, it's that important. So I've been asking those questions. And to get understanding, I had to get understanding from people I don't understand. That's kind of the nature of the beast. So I've been talking with people who are on different places in life than I am, so that I could understand their story better. I talked to small business owners because I realized that how they see this mandate might be different than how I see it, because their livelihood is affected. And the reality is, most of us here, unless we are a small business owner, we're still going to draw a paycheck, we're still going to get our money, and we don't really feel what they feel and understand what they understand unless we spend time with them. And so I just wanted to talk to them because I wanted to understand the emotion, the feel, because whether or not I could change anything, I wanted to have compassion for and empathy for and understanding. So I had conversations with people like that. Parents who are raising small families and trying to work from home and raise their kids simultaneously. And I'm an empty nester, so I don't understand that right now. But so I had conversations with people like that so I could understand their plight, where they are and what they're dealing with, because I wanted to feel and understand better what they are going through at this season, so I won't be so opinionated on what people should do. I can actually enter in to the difficulty and challenges that they're facing. I just wanted to have conversations with people that are in a different place in life than I am, so that I could have better understanding of where they are. Because if Solomon is correct, that we should sell everything, that's how valuable this is, then we have to go get it. And it just won't come naturally, because we'll hang out with the people who think like us, act like us, and talk like us, and we'll gravitate to them. And somebody has to kind of go over to the other, lack of a better term, other side, and start the understanding, so that we can walk through things together, even though we might be on a different page in life. Understanding has to be that big. Wisdom is supreme, according to Solomon. I realized during this last several weeks, and I know this, but I realize in it more, that I'm holistic. I'm a whole person. That I'm not just physical person. I'm an emotional, I'm a relational, I'm a spiritual person as well, and that they all intertwine. I realized over the last several weeks that had I not taken care of the physical and working out and through those stress, I would have probably made some super bad decisions that maybe later on I would have regretted, because these are so intricately connected that you take apart one and the others, like dominoes, begin to fall. And so I realized how important these are. I realized even more so the gathering, when we've been together for 5 weeks, how precious that is and how important that is. How much value is there that I had kind of lost sight of. So I realized that this is all connective, and you can't separate it. And so I'm understanding things differently than I've understood them before. I'm talking with, spending time with, so that I really do want to do what Solomon said. If you had to sell everything, if you had to empty your bank account, it's that valuable. Get understanding. And so I got a phone call from an older man in our church that I trust implicitly with life and advice, and I just laid this out to him just to say, hey, am I on an island here, and am I just being weird, or what do you see? And he said, Brian, this is what I see. I see you wanting to be like Jesus through all of this. He said, that is never a wrong thing. And I thought about it in a season, in a time in our culture where everything seems to be right or wrong, where we just want to make my side's right and your side's wrong. What if, you join me on this journey of crossing some bridges to understand each other better? What if the better question is not what do I do, but God, what do you want to do in me? What if this is the season that God wants to do something dramatic and big in our life, in a time of crazy, in a time of separation, a time of division, in a time of when you wouldn't expect it, God wants to intervene and help us to begin to understand each other better because we're asking a better question. And I thought again, isn't that what Jesus did? Didn't Jesus come to planet Earth? Didn't he enter into the mess? Didn't he enter into the darkness? Didn't he come across bridges to us to understand and to know us better? Yeah, I know the big picture was to die for the sins of mankind. But John said Jesus became flesh and dwelt among us. One version said, and he moved into our neighborhood. He hung out with us. Hebrews would conclude by saying that he feels what we feel. He feels our compassion. He empathizes with our weaknesses. He was tempted like we were tempted. He walked through the things that we walk through. And maybe the word is he understands. And now when I talk to God, and even when I get an answer I don't like, or the answer that I would prefer not to give, at the end of the day, I rest assured that he just understands. He just gets me because he's been there and done that. And so wherever you land on this whole mandate, should open, shouldn't open, can I encourage all of us to ask a better question? What do you want to do in me, God? What do you want to do in me in this season? I really want to guard my heart. I really want, because out of it flows the issues of life. I don't want to be, you don't want to be either angry and frustrated and bitter and finger pointing and divisive. You got to guard your heart. Wisdom is supreme. But I think wisdom being supreme comes with a cost, and that means understanding. We begin to understand people who don't think like, act like, or would do it the way we would do it. Join me on this journey. I think it's a good one because I think it's becoming more like Jesus, and that is always good. Now, with that being said, I feel super impressed that during this season we need to take a pause in the gathering. It just rips my heart out. It hurts because there's so much of being a pastor I haven't been able to do for the last 8, 9, 10 months. I haven't been able to go into hospital rooms. I haven't been able to have people go over people's houses. There's so many things that have just been part of my life that I can't do. And so this meeting and gathering is just who I am and what I do. And so these decisions are not made easily or flippantly. They are hard. But for the sake of the gospel, maybe for the sake of people looking at us on the outside, wondering what we're doing, it would be okay to pause for starting this week, this Sunday. We're going to be online. We're going to be live streaming at 9 o'clock. Please join us there. We're going to try to, it's called live streaming for a reason. It's about as close to being there as we possibly can. But join with us online as we worship together. And we're working on some stuff in December that maybe we can do something. We're going to try to find ways to get together, even under the current restrictions. At the very least, will you just pray for and stand with and go on this journey with me to become more like? Ask the better question. What do you want to do in me during this season? And know this, we, Star and I, the staff, we are so for you. We so love you. And we can't wait. You know, there's still hope and there's still light because there's still Jesus. We're on your side. We're going to get through this. God bless you.